bill as amended is passed.
Overnight, the Senate officially passing a bill to reopen the government, putting Congress on track to end the longest shutdown in American history.
I've already given my perspective on how stupid this is and how much of a disastrous proposal this was. You know, my position on it is known. Have you seen Ezra Klein's take, Lamau? Even Ezra Klein had like a little bit of criticism for it feels, right? Like, even he was just like, yeah, this is not the best thing, guys. What are we doing? Harry Emden also, yeah, I bookmarked this already, had a Chuck Schumer take, okay? It seems like this is ripping the Democratic Party apart. I think this is good. It's not a bad thing. The Democrats need to get their act in order. They need to be a normal, competent, good party, okay? They have to. There is no more time to fuck around. Anyway, Jon Stewart had a take on the Democrats fumbling the shutdown as well. And it's just like weird because there is definitely a meta in the party base for like Kamala dead enders in particular that I find really strange. Like, I can't tell if it's like astroturfed or I can't tell if it's like sincere, you know? But there are people, at least on Twitter, that I see saying stuff like, well, none of y'all voted for Kamala Harris. None of y'all voted. And now you're coming after, you know, the Democrats again. Why don't you save your energy for the Republicans? And it's like, I am angry at the Republicans. That's why I'm angry at the centrist Democrats that gave a W to the Republicans. I don't understand it. Like, I just cannot. I've never encountered a person that has this opinion genuinely in the real world. And I'm sure it exists because any number of different stupid opinions exist in the real world. But this one is like alarming. It just feels like a fucking liberal psyop or something. Because I don't understand how you are that devoid of self-reflection, you know? I don't understand how you are that invested in a party that is actively harming you if you are a real person at all. It just does not make any sense to me.
History.
This has been a very long road, quite literally the longest shutdown in history.
I think there are a lot of people, if you go out in the real world, if you talk to liberals, if you go out door knocking, if you go out canvassing, I think you will find that a lot of people are desperately looking for an alternative. They're desperately looking for a more robust response. A lot of liberals are agitated. A lot of liberals are looking for fighters, you know? I don't think that there are a lot of people out there running around thinking, no, things are amazing. The Democrats are doing great. I love that Chuck Schumer caved by getting 8 of the most protected Democrats with seniority to engage in this feckless cowardice, to make it look so stupid, to offer a fantastic W to the Republican Party at their weakest moment for no reason whatsoever.
I am very, very happy to be able to say that we are coming to the end.
The bill now heads to the House, members scrambling back to Washington after being out of town for more than 50 days.
You need to begin right now returning to the Hill. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
The House will hold its first round of votes Wednesday afternoon. But the deal leaving many Democrats outraged because it does nothing to address the expiring Obamacare subsidies that the party spent weeks holding out on as a precondition for reopening the government.
We're not going to support partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people.
Instead, the deal reached in the Senate comes with a promise from Republicans to hold a future vote on health care. Even Republicans acknowledging that's not going anywhere.
It seems like the health care bill that Democrats will be putting on the floor has a very low chance of getting any Republican support.
Yeah, I would say it won't get any.
So we asked Democratic senators why they decided to reopen the government without their key demand.
People are aware now that this is an issue and they know who's fighting for them. But it's time to end the suffering that people are feeling because of this government shutdown.
The impacts of the shutdown rippling across the country, from delayed food assistance to missed paychecks, and massive travel delays due to a shortage of air traffic controllers and TSA agents. The president calling for air traffic controllers who have been working without pay to be penalized if they haven't shown up for work. The president writing on social media that those who called out should leave their jobs with no payment or severance of any kind.
There's many different aspects to argue and criticize in this back and forth. But the one consistent thing that I cannot stand is how little the Republicans get penalized. Okay? I cannot fucking stand it. Donald Trump, throughout this entire shutdown, did all of the wrong things. Like, the way I describe it is, if you wanted to present yourself as the villain who does not care about the working class at all, you would do what Donald Trump did, okay? You would destroy the East Wing of the White House and like build this grand ballroom and constantly talk about it. You would have these Gilded Age style lavish parties with the super wealthy mega donors, as you are simultaneously openly stating that you want to cut 42 million Americans welfare. You want to starve them, right? While simultaneously refusing to reopen the government and refusing to concede on offering 24 million Americans health care. Like, I cannot imagine a more insane scenario. If I saw this on a TV show, I'd be like, this is too much. Nobody behaves like this. Like, this is some of you are going to die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make ass moment, you know? It's like, he's the monarch from Shrek. Like, this is unrealistic because of how in your face it is. You would see this in mostly like a cartoon or something. Like, you wouldn't even see this in an adult movie. Is it true you had to hand over your phone to the CCP police in Tiananmen Square? Yes. I have no phone now. This is they gave me a party official Huawei phone. I shouldn't be joking like this. Someone's gonna clip that and be like, "This is real. They did that." No, dude. No, no. Yeah, I'm in prison right now. This is a prison. Yeah, free upgrade, by the way. Dude, Huawei phones are so crazy. As I was saying, I don't understand how people looked at this dynamic. Now, this is from an earlier video, but the point still stands, right? I do not understand this dynamic at all. Like, do Republicans also, like Republican voters in general, like, do they just not have any fucking self-interest at all? Are they just bots? Like, I know I've been shitting on the Democrats quite a bit, and I don't have a lot of smoke for the voters in general. I usually try to focus my animosity to those in positions of power, right? That's on principle, what I believe. You know, be kind to people, be ruthless to systems. But there is a point where I'm just like, damn, man. Like, if you're a Republican voter, if you're like a reliable Republican Party voter, do you just not realize what's going on? You're sitting in the cuck chair, man. This guy is pissing in your face, telling you it's raining, and you're just sitting there and taking it because you're thinking, well, at least the other guys are getting more piss in their face than I am. You know, I'm getting a little bit of dribble. They're getting pissed on even harder. So, hell yeah, brother. I just don't get it. Like, how do you not revolt? It kind of feels like the liberal base has more smoke for the institutional Democratic Party than the MAGA base has for what the Republican Party has become. I guess because Trump is supposed to be like the logical conclusion of the Tea Party movement, so they think this is their populist moment. But if the populist moment comes and all you are experiencing as a Republican voter, as a MAGA supporter, as a Trump loyalist is no answers for affordability and a billionaire that is so decadent that his behavior would look silly if you read it in a book or if you saw it in a fucking movie. Like gold-plated, gaudy-ass White House refurbs and revamps while his own base of support is starving. And you just don't even turn around and go, man, maybe I made the wrong decision here. Like, there's not a single moment where you just go, yeah, I think this guy fucking sucks. Promises made, promises not kept. What are we doing? It makes no damn sense. That's the thing. If they admit they were wrong, then the libs were right. This is historic levels of in-your-face abundance for the super wealthy and starvation for the super poor. Okay? This is untenable. At least throughout history, this has been unsustainable, famously. Okay? This has led to some relatively violent moments of instability. Okay? Make fun of this tactic all you want, but it's literally worked for him for the last 10 years. Fuck you, I win, you lose, you're gay is actually a really good strategy when everyone is stupid and cruel. Yeah, Trump officials say that there's no affordability crisis. They're trying to do the vibe session. There are still people, and maybe they do it because they get paid to, so maybe it's moot, that approach the Trump machine with their mindset of like, okay, Here's how we get them. And you get him, and he says you didn't get me. In fact, you lose. And it works every time. And he has fucking sucked for decades. This is a new behavior of Trump, and that's the fucking kicker. Yeah, I mean, look, this is why part of my argument revolves around criticizing the Democrats, because if they were a serious party, if they were a competent opposition party, right, then they could at least like take advantage of this weakness. They could take advantage of this lack of interest in like solving some of these crises that Donald Trump won on, right? Affordability being the key one. But they're just not remotely invested in having a clear-cut vision for a better future and how they are going to do right by the voters, or even like showing how Donald Trump has actually lied, right? And that to me is so strange. Like, I don't know how much it will carry you to simply repeat over and over again the notion that, you know, things are not so great for me. I can't afford basic needs. Rent is constantly increasing and shit's just getting real bad. But at least there's a libtard out there that's getting owned, you know? Like, I don't know how much that can carry you. Sounds good to me, Law. Like that level of, I don't know how you can have that level of spite for your fellow Americans. That mentality is ridiculous. Yeah, but it's a driving factor. It is at the heart of Trump's consistent and reliable base of support. Oh, at least like trans people are no longer able to compete in athletic endeavors. Oh, at least like undocumented migrants are being ripped away from their families, right? Like, oh, there's unlimited cruelty to people that I've been told are my real enemies. So it's fine. Somewhere out there is a lib getting owned. I mean, is it worth it? Is that level of animosity and anger for those who have literally the same exact interests as you, your neighbors that go through the same financial struggles, the same financial hardships? Is it worth it to just brand them as the enemy? As a guy like this is just robbing you blind and laughing about it behind closed doors and sometimes on camera. This is what I asked the Republicans who were just like I want to understand, if you are pro MAGA at this point and you're a regular ass dude, you're not like a millionaire, you're not a billionaire, right? And you're not like some Christian nationalist who believes falsely that Trump is going to bring about a positive change for you by implementing some kind of Christian Sharia, you know? Because that's not going to help you in the long run anyway, but like at least in the interim, you have falsely believed that he's going to do that, and that's a good thing, right? But if you're none of those guys, if you're just like a regular, you know, mechanic and you got some needs that are not being met, you have a hard time paying rent, you're terrified of having to go to the doctor because you're going to be saddled with medical debt, right? And you're just kind of floating around looking at TikTok clips, own the libs compilations and whatnot, and you voted for Donald Trump because you thought he had an affirmative vision, right? He had a vision for changing this country in a direction that you thought was going to be good. You were led to believe that if all of the, you know, you're also Hispanic, let's say you're a Hispanic male, but all the other Hispanic men, the bad ones, will get deported, right? And you start seeing that happen, and it doesn't fix your financial predicament, right? You hate trans people. Let's say you think they're weird, you think they're gross, you think they're strange, you think they're like faking being trans, and that's in order to like win the, you know, middle school swim meet or something, or the high school swim meet, which is like an insane thing. But let's say you were led to believe that. And then Trump comes out and he's like, I've banned trans athletes, right? I've banned them from the NCAA. And you're like, hell yeah, sir. Thank God you did that. But your financial situation didn't change. As a matter of fact, it got worse. What do you do in that situation, right? What do you do? Like, I want to understand the mentality. And for the record, I saw this tweet as well. Someone just sent it to me and said, that's the guy. You're describing the guy. His name is Some Welder on Twitter. Irreverent sage, business owner, aviator, and dog stand. Not on your team. Patrick Henry was right. CV Passam Parabellum. Okay? And he goes, my health insurance just went up another $500 a month for the missus and me. $39,733 now for the year. Fuck your SNAP. Fuck your EBT. And fuck your Obamacare subsidies. I wasn't put on this earth to pay your fucking bills. Brother, do you not know what the Democrats were trying to do? Like, I shit on them all the time, right? Like, I get mad at the Democrats all the time, but like, they were literally trying to avoid that thing. They were trying to avoid this happening to you. The people that are doing that to you is the Republican Party, the people that you voted for. How can you experience the fucking problem that these guys are seeking to solve, seeking to address, at least in the interim? Because I think, like, if I talk to this guy, I could be like, dude, you want free healthcare, right? Like, you don't want to pay 39 grand. You're not going to be taxed $39,000 if we have Medicare for all. Your tax liability is going to be lower than this. It's going to be lower than $39,000 that you pay for in fucking premiums. And you don't have any additional surprise billing in the aftermath of all this. I mean, this blows my mind. Like, how do you live in this world? How can you not understand who is hurting you? And then you got people saying, I thought you were a welder and not some whiny little bitch. Be a man and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bitch. That would be a lot easier to accomplish if I didn't have useless losers like you hanging off my bootstraps. Pay for your own shit. Trash. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, boomer. I already did that, renter. It's a shame you lack all empathy and compassion. You're a clear sign of exactly what's wrong in this country today. What does stealing the fruits of my labor at the point of a gun and redistributing them to others have to do with empathy and compassion? Like, this guy doesn't understand. He goes, fuck your Obamacare subsidies. You fucking moron. What do you mean, fuck your Obamacare subsidies? That's you. That's for you. I lived almost all my life in rural area in Eastern Europe. What you have to understand is that people got used to being poor. They don't have hope of getting better, but the immediate hate that they want to get resolved no matter what. Your healthcare is going up because your subsidies are going away, you idiot. I don't get subsidies and I never have. R word. You have to force these guys to have nice things. I'm with you. Don't tell these assholes what you're legislating. Just implement it against their will. At a certain point, you do have to move beyond it, you know? At a certain point, you do have to move beyond the notion that, like, that guy's fucking opinion matters. It doesn't, okay? He's going to sit there and suck it up, okay? You are going to advance the wishes of the broadest majority of voters. You're going to give them health care, and he's just going to sit there and complain for like the first year or so and probably quietly recognize that things have gotten much better. That's it. You just have to force free healthcare on people like that. I don't think there's any way of snapping this guy out of his like angry, drunken stupor here. His position is so untenable, you know? It just does not make any fucking sense. I could not believe it. I could not believe this take, man, when I saw this. Zoe Rose Bryant talks about, I truly just cannot fathom why anyone would give a flying fuck about this. How does the sex marker on my passport affect anybody but me? We're on the verge of a recession. Families can't afford groceries and people are losing healthcare left and right. And this is your fucking focus. Yeah. The Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to block transgender and non-binary people from choosing passport sex markers that align with their gender identity. Who is this for? Like, at a certain point, you have to recognize that your shit is not all right. It's not good. And it's getting worse. And it's because of your hyper investment in this like dumb, nonsensical bullshit that doesn't touch you at all that, you know, you kind of have to focus your priorities on things that actually matter. Yeah, there's also this. The U.S. Trump administration is reportedly working on 15-year car loans. U.S. President Donald Trump also posted yesterday regarding allowing 50-year mortgages, which is unironically the whole you will own nothing and be happy. Like, this man is the World Economic Forum guy. It turns out, as a neoliberal shill himself, it turns out the fucking billionaire guy has the exact same opinions as the other billionaire guys. Like, how is this any different than the are you ready for the new world order style attitude that these people used to fucking hate? This is it, right? I mean, this is the you will eat the bugs, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. This is it. Someone send me that fucking YouTube video, please. We got to watch it. Like, the car loan thing might not be real, but the 50-year mortgage is. This is it.
Klaus Schwab und ein Herz to say, you must give more of your rights away. Your sacrifice is the only remedy for the real pandemic. We must prepare for an angrier world as Agenda 2030 is unfurled. You will eat the bugs, sing in the metaverse. You will comply and it will get worse. Are you ready for the new world order? No more human rights or borders. We own you. Your fun going on us. We thank you. Support us. We make your problems then rain you. For everything we do. Yes, we are here. We are coming soon. If you don't stop us, we're screwed. We are here. The agenda is quite clear. We will make you live in fear. You are the puppets when I'm the puppeteer.
That some mechanic guy you described just is the average guy in the US. Republican think tanks pay millions to do focus groups so they can get away with their bullshit, and that guy will think it's good for him. Yeah, I mean, yes, Americans are some of the most propagandized people on the planet. Like, it's just, that's just what it is. It's one of the, I mean, by the way, that's a bop regardless. Like, you know, politics aside, that's just straight up a bop. It actually probably did so much good for the World Economic Forum. At least when I listened to it, I was like, well, I want this. Like, I am ready for the new world order. But, you know, people are so heavily propagandized against that they just unironically think like everyone else is fucked. Everyone else is having a much tougher go at it, and that they're, you know, in America, they're in the wealthiest nation on the planet. Like, they're doing fucking fantastic. It's the greatest nation on the planet. And it's like, and then you see shit like this. 70% of China's millennials are homeowners. How does that not piss you off? That's from 2017. I think the fact that these people exist makes perfect sense, to be honest. Trump has given his base just enough fuel with his relentless anti-immigrant agenda, combined with the culture war shit he's implementing. There's a reason why Trump won with deport everyone. They're eating the cats and dogs, and I literally don't have a plan for healthcare. It's the culture war. No, I know. And it is imperative upon the left position party in this country, the opposition party in this country, to actively move people's attention back to the material, right? To actually center the working class, to be unafraid to call things out like this. And you never actually fucking hear that. You never actually hear that from the Democrats, unfortunately. Like, at most, they will offer a little bit of lip service to like incremental gains. And that's the reason why they keep losing. It's like, how do we still let these animals win any power in this fucking country, man? In PPP terms, China just surpassed the US years ago. In nominal terms, its GDP is around 80% of the US, but growing faster. More importantly, China leads the world in EVs, solar, shipbuilding, drones, AI hardware, steel, highways, railways, consumer electronics, dams, nuclear power, and increasingly semiconductors, the foundational physical technologies that actually make societies better. China's mastery of physical infrastructure means that cooperation and integration with the Chinese supply chain is the most practical path towards development for most countries. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Democratic cowardice is a big part of the party's brand problem, by the way. A YouGov poll from February found most voters see Republicans as bold and aggressive, while Dems are perceived as sluggish, timid, and cowardly. People don't believe the Dems will fight for them. And why should they? They're right. For every Summer Lee, congresswoman that I interviewed in the Capitol before coming to China, there are 10 Chuck Schumers. Old, decrepit, far too comfortable in their seat of power, far too invested in a world that doesn't exist anymore. A political game that has never really existed. They are just as delusional, if not more delusional, about the material realities, in spite of their, you know, liberal safeguarding status, as the anarchist who believes that there will be a revolution tomorrow, as the Marxist-Leninist vanguardist who believes that there is no necessity to propagandize to the working class, there's no necessity to bring up class consciousness in this country, and that we could foment socialist revolution tomorrow if it wasn't for the Democratic Party actively stopping it. Okay? That's it. They are just as oblivious to the needs of the working class or where they're at as the left comms out there. Bro, they tried to make a genocide acceptable, but they failed. That is another point that I argue for as well. Strawman much. If you disagree with me, then you either self-ID as a left comm or you genuinely misunderstand the point I'm making. Hit dog hollers, no disrespect, but you know,
while those who didn't take time off should get a bonus of $10,000.
We should not have had people leaving their jobs. And what I basically did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace.
So President Trump did sign a bill into law back in 2019 that guarantees back pay for all federal workers. The president also says that he will abide by this deal reached in the Senate, which does include a provision that requires him to rehire the federal workers he fired during the shutdown. And of course, Americans out there are all asking the same question. When exactly is this government shutdown going to end? Well, again, the House expected to take up this measure tomorrow. Then it heads to the president's desk for his signature. But the impacts of this shutdown could last another week, especially for travel, Robin.
That cannot end soon enough. All right. Rachel, thank you.
Since when is critiquing support of a bourgeois party left, com? No. I'm talking about an outright refusal to recognize where the mass is, where the masses are, okay? Refusing to meet the working class where they are and actively communicate with them to help them understand, to foment class consciousness, especially in a moment like this where the Democratic Party is for once finally being seen as a feckless institution that does not meet the demands that the public are making. Okay, Marxists-Leninists don't disagree with you on that point. I mean, I know. That's why I said, if you exist outside of this construct, if you exist outside of this mentality, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. I think you're insincere and unserious. You have to meet the people where they're at, and you have to educate them, and you have to help them come to these conclusions. Americans are the most propagandized people on the fucking planet, okay? And they think that they're actually free thinkers when they are far from it. Utilizing the existing constructs, utilizing the existing mass party that already has organs of communication, that already has an infrastructure to meet people where they're at, and just casting that aside to build class consciousness on your own is silly, especially because it means that you are unable to realize how this stuff looks to the average person, how socialism is treated by the average person. It's a boogeyman. It's scary. There's a lot more work to be done is what I'm saying.